Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a first impressions on a new foundation that I recently got my hands on. It is a new foundation to my collection and it is the Bodyshop Matte Clay Skin Clarifying Foundation. I'm really impressed so far with the foundation. I will show you guys a quick demo on how I apply it. So if you want to hear my thoughts on what I think about this foundation, then just keep on watching. So to jump in, let's talk about the foundation itself. I'm getting more and more familiar with the Bodyshop makeup products, and every time I try something new, I'm actually pretty impressed. In one of my previous foundation reviews, I reviewed the Bodyshop Fresh Nude Foundation. So this one is more geared towards hydrating, and it's gonna be a little bit more luminous and dewy on the skin. This foundation here is a matte clay foundation, so it's gonna leave you with a matte finish. I'm on the website right now and it says that the foundation goes for $16. I'm pretty sure that's USD though, so I'll have a clip right here, a little notation saying how much it is in Canadian dollars for all my Canadian gals. The foundation does come in 10 different shades. I am right kind of in the middle, and I got the shade TAMERZA Dune 026, and I actually really did like the color match. I think it matches really nicely to the rest of my body. I'm a little bit more fairer than I was in the summertime, so I am happy with the choice that I made on this one here. And just to give you a little bit of a rundown on what the foundation says it's gonna do. So it says it is matte high coverage, 24-hour long wear, 24-hour shine control, 24-hour breathable wear, promotes clearer looking skin and non-pore clogging. So without further ado, let's just jump into the demo and show you guys how it applies and all that good stuff. Okay, so right now there's nothing on my face except for moisturizer. I'm gonna go ahead and put on primer. I always put primer on even when I'm doing a first impression. The primer that I've been using lately has been the Smashbox one. This is the Photo Finish Foundation Primer. It's the hydrating one. It's really nice on the skin, especially in the colder months when I need a little bit more hydration. So I just put that in my T-zone and then blend it out into the rest of the face. Just gonna get my hair out of the way. This is the Body Shop, the Matte Clay Skin Clarifying Foundation. I got the shade TAMERZA Dune 026, which, as you guys know, I have recently done another review on a Body Shop foundation. That is the Fresh Nude Foundation. So it is said that this one here is a light to medium coverage, very hydrating on the skin. This one here I have Atlas Dune's 045 to compare to this one here. As you guys can see, bottle to bottle, they do look pretty similar in shade, so I'm hoping that this will match just as good as this one did, because this one did quite match nicely. So the difference between the two, as I mentioned, the Fresh Nude one is gonna give a light to medium coverage, very hydrating on the skin. This one here is a matte clay foundation, so it's gonna give a medium to full coverage, and it's also gonna leave you with a matte finish. Comparing it to this, the Fresh Nude one does have a pump in a glass bottle. This one is a plastic bottle and it is a squeezy tube. Honestly, if it's not gonna have a pump, as long as it has the squeezy tube, then I'm like more forgiving. I did squeeze some out on the back of my hand and it's pretty runny, so I'm actually going to give the bottle a shake and see if that kind of helps with the consistency, because I was expecting it to be a little bit more thicker on my hand. So definitely not as thick as I was expecting. I'm not sure why, but when it said matte clay, I kind of felt like it was gonna be a mousse consistency. It is not at all. It is still a very nice liquid foundation type of consistency. As you can see, it is starting to run down my hand, so it's not too thick, which I'm actually very glad to see that, because I don't really like it when they're thick. I just feel like they're really hard to blend out when that happens, so I'm actually really happy about the consistency of the foundation just on the back of my hand. I am taking this new sponge that I recently got, also from the Body Shop. It's 10 bucks, like what a steal. So it is very pointed. Like, look at this sharp point. I'm gonna be applying the foundation today with this. Let's see, let's start this foundation application finally. So as you can see, like color-wise, it's really nice. I think I did an excellent job matching myself. So that's really nice. The coverage is not as intense as I thought. So I haven't done my forehead or anything. I've just done one layer on this area here. And look at the difference, like that's pretty nice. It definitely right away took away any redness that I had on my cheek. So that's really nice. I still can see my beauty marks, which I personally really like in a foundation. I like having my natural freckles and my beauty marks kind of show through a little bit. I just like that, but that's a personal preference. If you don't like that, I think you could probably get rid of that with one more coat, like a coat of paint. One more layer, you could probably definitely get rid of any freckles that you don't want to show. So I'm actually really happy with one layer. Like, look at that, that's pretty nice. And it did go on like matte, like my skin, like it's dry already. So you do have to work quite quickly. So I'm gonna squeeze out the same amount. I did probably about a pump worth and do the other side of my face. Okay, so that is one layer of the foundation all over the skin. I always feel like you look a little bizarre when you just have foundation on, especially like right up in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish my makeup and then jump back on camera and talk to you guys a little bit more about my first impression thoughts and also a little bit about the foundation itself. So I'll be right back. So I am back. I have finished the rest of my makeup and the foundation has probably been on my skin now for, I would say, 30 to 40 minutes and it hasn't budged at all. Everything else that I applied on top of it applied really nicely. I used mostly like a lot of favorites today. So everything went on very nicely. I didn't have a hard time blending anything out. My concealer sat right on top of my foundation really nicely, even in my T-zone. So I'm very happy with the application. As you guys know, I applied with this beauty sponge. So this is the beauty sponge from the Body Shop. It is $10 Canadian. And so far I have mixed reviews on it. So I found it very difficult to apply my foundation with this sponge because it's so dense. So it's not as, I think the best way for me to describe it is it's not as cushy. One pro to that is that it's not going to take as much of your product away. So that is one pro, but the con is it's a little bit difficult to work into the skin. Nonetheless, it did blend everything out very nicely. The pro side to this sponge is that it has a very pointy side to it. So this side, this flat side here, is what I use to apply my foundation because it just has a larger circumference. But the pointy side, I decided to go in for my concealer, and let me tell you, it was like boom, and my concealer was blended. It was phenomenal. I couldn't believe it, and it really just got right up into that corner because for me, I really like bringing my concealer all the way into this corner here. I wear glasses, so I always feel like I have like an indentation mark there. So I really like to bring the concealer all the way up in there, and this really worked very nicely. So I'm gonna keep working with it and keep using it because the foundation I wasn't too impressed with, but the concealer blew my mind, so I don't know. So I'm kind of 50-50 right now on this sponge, but I'm gonna keep working with it. Back to the foundation, it definitely does give a matte finish. So you do have to work pretty quickly with the foundation. So I would recommend putting a little bit on the back of your hand or on a plate or however you like to apply, and working one section at a time, which is what I always do for first impressions, just because I like to show you guys the kind of like one side of the face done, one side of the face not done. But I would actually recommend doing that with this foundation all the time, so it really gives you enough time to blend out one area. And say you have foundation on your hand or on your face waiting, it's not gonna set, because I really feel like that would happen because it does dry quite quickly and it dries matte, so you're really not gonna be able to move it around. But on the pro side of that is that it does dry quite matte, but a comfortable matte. So my skin doesn't feel dehydrated, it doesn't feel irritated, and it doesn't look flaky in any of my very dry areas. So for example, right around my nose area, I get very flaky and dry with many matte foundations. So that is the first place that I always look to for matte foundations. The second place that I start to look to is my T-zone. And as of right now, like I said, I've been wearing the foundation for 30 to 40 minutes behind very bright, hot lights, mind you, and I have no oils breaking through whatsoever in my T-zone. Right here is the first place, like no matter what, that I will see something show through. And so far I have absolutely no oil, which is phenomenal. So very impressed with that. Coverage wise, I definitely think that this is a medium foundation, not necessarily a full coverage foundation, but buildable. As you guys know, I do like coverage to my foundations, but I like it when my beauty marks can kind of show through a little bit, my freckles aren't completely concealed, but the blemishes are gone. You know what I'm saying? So an overall medium coverage is perfect for me because I have the nice full coverage, the redness is gone, and then I can build on areas that need it the most as opposed to having full coverage across the face. So keep that in mind if you are looking for a matte full coverage foundation. I would still recommend this one because you can definitely build it up in those areas that you need it and then have it a little bit more on the medium side for the rest of the face, which I think is a really great combination. I haven't tested it for a full day yet, but I will keep you guys posted and let you know how it lasts throughout the day. If you aren't already, definitely come follow me on Instagram so you can keep up with my Insta stories. That's where I like to give you guys kind of live updates on products that I'm trying and all that good stuff. So definitely come follow me there. I'll have it pop up right here. Overall, I really like the foundation so far. I think it's beautiful on the skin. It sits really nicely. For me, I got a really great color match. The only con that I'm gonna say is that 10 shades is just not nearly enough. It's just so limiting. So I definitely lucked out being able to match so nicely, but realistically, that's not gonna be the case every single time with only 10 shades. So I definitely hope that the Body Shop releases more shades for this guy, like minimum 25 shades should be in a foundation line in my opinion, but nonetheless, it is a great foundation. The consistency of the foundation is nice. It's not too thick, but it still goes on matte and really, really gives a nice medium coverage. So I hope you guys enjoyed this first impressions video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Of course, be sure to subscribe to my channel and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.